Casey. Casey, UFC 295 is in the books. And if you are listening to this, that means you've been watching along and you're here for the UFC 295 post fight press conference because we've got new champions. Alex Pereira, new UFC light heavyweight champion. Tom Aspinall, new interim UFC heavyweight champion. But most importantly, we've got Jessica Andrade. She's right there. We're in the booth. We're going to fire it to her. So you don't listen to us. We'll come back. We'll talk to you in a second. Let's listen to Andrade, who's coming off a big win over Mackenzie Dern. Never mind, as she's putting down the microphone. Of course, that's what happened, Casey. Of course, that's what happened. Why wouldn't it be? Uh, Casey, I don't know how long this is going to take. I know that they had a backlog going on there. Talking to Jose Youngs, obviously, MayFind.com, great website, boots on the ground. Says that, this event went by really fast, Casey.
It did go
Really
by fast.
fast. We had so many first round stoppages, and the ones that weren't first round stoppages, they were second round stoppages. 5 up, 5 down. And I mean, that's through Jessica Andrade, our feature fighter. So I would guess we are looking at Tom Aspinall, obviously, Alex Pereira, obviously, Dana White, perhaps, maybe even Jamal Hill comes back there. I don't know what kind of wackiness is going to ensue. Maybe we get Yuri, maybe we get Pavlovich. But right now, you got me. That's E. Casey Lydenham, Jed Meshew, MayFighting.com. And we're here to chop it up. And let's start at the top, Casey, while we wait. Alex Pereira is breaking MMA as we know it. The ninth ever two division champion in the UFC. He knocks out Yuri Procházka in the second round with punches and elbows. First things first, before we get into Alex Pereira being insane and breaking MMA, how do we feel about the stoppage? Because there was a lot of media talk afterwards. Yuri, in his post fight interview, says, I think the stoppage was fine. How do you feel about the stoppage?
That stoppage sucked. It sucked. That's
Concur.
all. It sucked. I get Yuri. Yuri doesn't want. Yuri's not gonna be that guy. He admitted to being knocked out during the Reyes fight. Like, what fighter does that? Oh yeah, I was out. It was a bad stoppage. It sucked. I understand why Goddard stopped the fight, but yeah, just bad stoppage. Unfortunate. Unfortunate for Alex Pereira. Very unfortunate for Yuri, and super unfortunate for fans because we had a spectacular pay-per-view card, spectacular card overall, top to bottom, and you don't want to leave. Uh, yeah, it
The
just
the last fight is always the one. Like it's always the one that sets the tone. If the rest of the card was dynamite and then you go out on on a less than note, that's the tone for the entire card. And a final fight can kind of lift up an otherwise bad card if it's something epic. So I get it. I understand why Goddard did it. Like I see how it happened. Obviously, I think it was a little bit early. I would have liked to see more, particularly because I have always felt that in title fights in particular, give them a little bit more rope.
in
But
title fights,
I'm not
and especially
upset by this.
the fact that Yuri didn't take a lot of. If it was like his third knockdown, kind of like
Hmm.
the Mackenzie Dern fight, something like that. Like, think how much damage Mackenzie Dern took compared to Yuri. Like, that fight would have been. You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah.
all. It's just, but that's been this kind of issue of MMA throughout ever. One fight, we get Glover Teixeira type of Yuri. We get a Glover Teixeira type of leash, and this fight there was zero leash. But that's the sport. Alex won fair and square. He is the champion. Can't take that away from him. And yeah, it
Now
just
he's the second
yeah.
champ. I don't. What do we do with him? What we're gonna have to do a rankings thing tonight. What do we do with Alex Pereira? I don't understand him. He is obviously extremely good at fighting, and he's gonna, I guess, be the number one light heavyweight for all of us, and
Anytime.
rightfully so. I'm
Is
still
he? I mean,
not
is
convinced that
Nimkov the
like
best side? Maybe it's Nimkov. All right, here
that's
we
the
go.
thing is I don't know. There are like a number of light heavyweights that I would probably pick to beat him, the same way it was at middleweight. And now, even despite this, he has somehow booped his way
All
into
right, we got
the Hall of Fame career. Oh, we've got Dana White. Let's
yeah.
listen to Dana White.
I'm not getting any audio from Mister. Let me message Jose.
He's going to be here to tell you that the gate is breaking records for Madison Square Garden. Um, he's giving out the bonuses. I don't know who those bonuses are for. I mean, given how it goes, Tom Aspinall's going to get one, Alex Pereira, and now he's asking for questions. Let me see if I can track down what those bonuses were for all of us, though.
Oh wait, why did I put it? Why did I put it in the wrong?
We're working through this, guys. For the time being, just enjoy seeing Dana White on your TV screen. It's lovely, I'm sure. I'm not seeing what the bonuses are, but I'm still trying to pull this up for y'all. I mean, it was a fantastic evening. Elite, like we saw one of the better pay-per-views of the year, even with the main event ending.
Sorry.
What can you tell us about both those guys?
Oh, he asked for Israel in his interview.
Yeah.
Yeah, Israel's a weight class below him now, but we've seen that. Yeah, he Jamal Hill, when he's ready, is the fight that makes sense.
Do you have any idea like how his recovery is going? Is he informed like when he might be ready to fight?
Going good. Apparently it's good. I don't know.
Okay.
You know, I don't talk about this shit.
Yeah. Tom Aspinall, incredible. No controversy there whatsoever. I guess, man, what did you think about that? I think we all expected
both those
to go
guys
quick.
stepping up, taking it on short notice, and both big, heavy hitters that could have gone either way, and Aspinall got it.
When you see that guy, hailing from England, obviously, do you immediately think we got to take his next fight? We got to do it in England, like have a title fight over there, or do you think that?
Well, with a lot of these guys right now, you're looking at possible Spain, UK, France, all good stuff. All new territories or places we've haven't been in a while or haven't been, or it's all good stuff.
We saw Stipe tonight, and obviously we wanted to have Stipe and John. Is that still the fight to make, or do you feel like maybe Tom deserves to fight John or deserves to fight Stipe, or maybe that's a better fight?
No. You do those two.
Right.
Those two both deserve that fight. That's the fight they want. What I love is that John Jones, as soon as he heard that he was injured and he knew how bad it was, went right to LA, got the surgery, and he's already in rehab. So physical therapy, I should say. He's in physical therapy. Yeah. Yes. John Jones is in physical therapy already.
All right.
We're happy about it.
Thanks. And I guess so. Do you anticipate Tom defending the interim title because of like how they'll have to wait for that fight to happen? Do you expect him to fight somebody else?
I don't know. We'll see how that plays out. We'll see what happens. Took this fight on short notice. Obviously, looked great. He's got plenty of money to chill out for a minute, and we'll see.
Nice. The last thing for me, I just want to ask you, 30th anniversary show. I know you're not always the sentimental type or, have time to even reflect, but I guess special moment in the company history. What does tonight mean for you?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it, it's our 30th. I was thinking about this earlier. The corruption that kept us out of New York City for so long, for us to come in here in just 7 years. And you think about this historic arena, this incredible city, and for us to be number 1, 2, and 3 all time on our 30th, and great card tonight, great fights, great crowd. You couldn't really button up a 30th anniversary any better than tonight.
Dana, to your right. I know you follow boxing for a long time, and Joe Louis, who won a title in this arena, was known for that, like 6-inch left hook that he had, short little. And I kind of thought of that when Alex punch tonight, that little short hook on Yuri. It was like that kind of power is rare, and you don't see that very often. Do you think that that's what separates him kind of from the rest of the pack?
Yeah, and what's crazy too is like the first leg kick hurt him. He knew it. He kept kicking that leg, and that leg was going to be a problem as the fight went on. And the kicking power, the punching power. He moves like a middleweight. And he's pretty nasty.
And Yuri's kind of a tough guy to figure out. With
Very, and he's tough. durable, tough guy.
Right. And I guess, what I'm impressed with Alex in that case is the fact that he's 7 fights in his UFC career, and what is it, 10 fights or 11 fights overall, and he's able to deal with those things. Yuri was switching stances a little bit early, and kind of the way he was moving. Does that impress you, the fact that how Alex has grown in this short period of time in MMA, and he's adapted, and it seems like he has a complete game already in just how many fights it is?
Yeah, I mean, I think that he and Israel Adesanya, if you look at them coming from one style and being able to make the transition and do as well as they've done here, it's very impressive.
And then the last question for me, I asked Aspen all this before the fight. I said, hey, dude, you saw what Volkanovski did and saw what Usman did, and they took the fights on short notice and they lost. Did it give you any pause? And he said, well, you can never win the title sitting on the couch. And I wonder what your thought is on that, because sometimes if guys aren't preparing, they don't give themselves the best chance to win, right? And the fact that, Alex Volkanovski and Kamaru did what they did was commendable, but they also didn't give themselves the best chance to win. But you still believe in guys taking that opportunity, right? In doing what Tom did tonight.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, when you get to that level, I mean, you're one of the. I mean, Volkanovski is pound for pound #1 guy in the world. You definitely jump on those opportunities when you get them.
I guess the only thing I was saying, though, is if you're not training on I know all these guys work out, but on a regular basis, right?
His guys told me in the ring tonight that Aspinall was on vacation when he got the call. So, you know what I mean? This is a crazy business, and there's very small windows of opportunity. When big opportunities pop up, you have to take them. You never know what's going to happen. John Jones is getting ready to fight Steve Miocic. Cares the so when you get them and you're not hurt, yeah, you take them.
Dana, in the conversations you've had with John and Stipe, do you think that is a retirement fight for them both, or do you think they could be convinced to stick around and maybe fight Tom after?
So I had lunch the other day with Stipe, and Stipe is very focused. Listen, it's one of those fights you have the best heavyweight of all time versus the greatest martial artist of all time. That's the fight they want. It's the fight that makes sense. It's the fight that should happen. And I asked Stipe that question. He says, I don't even know. All I care about right now is John Jones. It's the only thing I'm focused on. I want this fight really bad.
With Tom, right, it's not just it's not that he's winning, it's the way he's winning and how quick he's winning. Do you think this guy could be the new generation of heavyweight like we haven't seen before, and could be even go on to be one of the best in that division?
Yeah, so obviously what we've seen of him is great, but I hear even better things about him. I mean, I hear in the gym this guy is an absolute beast. He kicks shit out of everybody. And the people who surround him and know him well really believe in this guy. So obviously what he's shown us so far has been unbelievable. I can't wait to see what's next.
Now you got 2 champions from the UK. Is there a chance we get a pay-per-view back there next year?
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. We're going to be going all kinds next year. So yeah, it's fun. I always talk about how do we beat this year? How do we beat this year? And it's just, you couldn't write a script better than reality. What really happens and how it plays out and where you end up. It's what's so fun about this business.
Yeah. Last one from me, you number 1, number 2, number 3 in Gates at MSG. I know you're not a guy who holds on to grudges very much, but is this the perfect way to say fuck you to those people who kept you out of New York?
Say that again?
Is this the perfect way to say fuck you to the people who kept you out of New York?
Yeah, well, believe me, the people who kept us out of New York went to fucking prison. So they're good. But yeah, the culinary union from Las Vegas, fuck you. Yeah.
Dan the front right here. I know you gave him a bonus, but what do you make of Benoit Saint-Denis as a talent? A lot of people online are already labeling him as one of the more violent fighters in the division, and he already wants his shot at the BMF title, and then he's already talking about fighting Islam so early into his career. So what do you make of him as a talent moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, obviously tonight was a big night for him. Looked great. He's one of the hottest prospects in Europe right now, period. So, yeah, we're excited.
Similar question about Diego Lopes. You gave him another bonus, but he seemed to get one of the bigger ovations even before this fight, even at ceremonials. He's already calling for main events in Mexico. So a similar question: where do you think you can take a fighter of his caliber? And it seems like he's already a budding star.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. He's fun. He's exciting. I like everything about this kid. The answer is yes. You could do a lot with him.
And the last one for me, Lupi Godinez became the first female UFC fighter to have 4 wins in 1 calendar year, and her first fight was in May. So 4 wins in like 7 months or something like that. She needs a month off. She seems a little bummed about it, but where do you see the future for her too?
She's bummed out about a month off. That's awesome. Listen, that those type of people are right up my alley. I love that stuff. And when you see fighters who have that mentality and that's how they are, it's like Hamzat when he burst onto the scene. People get who are real and who are real fighters. So yeah, I love it.
And last one for me, is there any location for the Ilya Topuria Volkanovski fight? Ilya seemed to be hinting at possibly Los Angeles.
Not yet.
And I assume the same thing for the Sean O'Malley Cheeto Vera fight. No location yet.
None.
Okay.
We would have announced if we did, but
hey,
it's
Dana,
coming.
to your right.
Here. I know you touched on it a little bit with Alex Pereira, but 7 fights in the UFC, 2 belts. No one had done it faster than 9 fights, which was Randy Couture, and then BJ Penn did it at 11. Just kind of the progress of this, like how remarkable is what he's done in this amount of time?
Yeah, no, it's unbelievable. Like I was saying earlier, he's him and Israel both coming from a one style. And then coming in here and accomplishing what they've accomplished. I mean, that stuff was happening like 20 years ago. Now to come in and do it at this day and age in this era is incredibly impressive.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess that apparently Aspinall told Laura Sanko that he strained a muscle in his back pretty much right after he accepted the fight and was barely able to train. Were you aware of that? And
No.
I guess how much more does that make?
Not till right
impressive?
this second. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's impressive. See, his guys didn't even tell me that in the octagon. They were telling me he was on vacation when he got the call for the fight, but they didn't say anything about him being injured.
Yeah, and you had quite the group with you, cage side for the main card, Donald Trump, Kid Rock, all those people. What was kind of just the vibe like? What were they saying with this remarkable main card that had 5 finishes?
All those guys are fight fans. Tucker Carlson's first time, and I always tell people that nobody walks into a UFC event live and then walks out and says, yeah, I don't ever want to see one of these again. And, he was just telling me when he was leaving, this is unbelievable. I loved it, and I definitely want to see more.
And you mentioned yesterday in your scrum that the Sphere, the show there, is a done deal, but you didn't really elaborate. Is there any more you can tell us on timeline? Is it still going to be Mexican Independence Day? Or
Mexican Independence Day, we are booked for the Sphere, and we're already working on the creative for the show.
Does it seem like going to be a challenge, or can you give us any?
It's a massive challenge, and I love every minute of it. I can't wait to dive into this thing. We're reaching out as I get more of the pieces of the puzzle put together. I'll let you guys know as it comes along. But I'm super excited about this. I love challenges. Everybody keeps saying to me, I don't understand how you're going to put the octagon in there. I don't understand how you're going to do this. I don't understand how you're going to do that. I'm going to remember that I said this to you tonight. I'm going to put on the greatest live combat sports show anybody has ever seen.
Awesome. And just lastly for me, we were in Saudi Arabia a couple of weeks ago. Conor McGregor was there and he spoke to us for a little bit. He was pretty much begging, saying like, just please give me my date. Please give me my date. The Schmo reported tonight that his sources are saying Chandler is happening at UFC 300 in April. Is there anything you can tell us about Conor?
What did the Schmo report?
He said that it's the Chandler fight is in the works for UFC 300 in April.
Got it.
Anything you can tell us?
Well, if the Schmo said it, it must be true.
Well, that's the only report out there, but Conor, like he
is definitely chomping again. There is no date.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Hey, Dana, to your right in the back, we saw some great performances from the young fighters tonight, guys like Diego Lopez and Joshua Van. How quickly do you want to see these guys back in the octagon, and what impressed you about them?
Everything was impressive. They'll be back. It's going to determine somebody goes back and fights. The thing that I'm about right now.
And then Dana, to your left over here.
Mhm.
But 2024, any plans to come back to the Northeast? I know maybe March Atlantic City's circulating. Wondering if you could confirm that.
We have been talking about Atlantic City. Yeah, we have been talking about Atlantic City, talking about Jersey. Yeah, we'll see.
Dana, to your right, what do you?
I don't even have fights they're still working on, so I'm not. You know what I mean?
Sorry, what do you see next for Jiří Procházka?
What do you see next for Yuri?
He just fought 25 minutes ago.
Okay.
Dana, please.
I have no plans for him right now. He needs to go take some time off, heal, and then back. He's a tough, durable guy, and we'll figure out what's next.
Thank you.
Dana, on your left. Hello. We have a 22-year-old fighter in France called Baki. He's currently in 8-0. He's fighting next week for the welterweight belt at RS Fighting. We also know he was Khamzat's sparring partner for his fight against Kamaru Usman. And what do you think of him? Do you have an eye on Baki, and are you open to his rival on UFC League?
What was the question?
Whoa.
It was about a fighter that's Khamzat's sparring partner.
Yeah.
I do not.
You do not know him?
No.
Oh, okay.
But if he wins, I probably will. And now you just told me about him, so I'll have to check him out.
Okay. Keep an eye on him.
Yeah.
Dana,
Cool. Yeah.
in the middle. Just wondering, now we've got 2 UFC champions from the UK. If you have changed your mind about potentially doing a UK stadium show?
Yeah. I mean, I could. I love the O2. But we'll see. We'll see how he progresses and what happens, and but it's pretty awesome to have a heavyweight champion from the UK. So.
And just another one, Deontay Wilder the other day said that he's interested in transitioning to MMA. Just wondering if that's something you're interested in. Conversations between you and Wilder.
And it's interesting. You know what I mean? You never see this shit happen. Never see the box.
Sorry, just one more from me.
Yeah.
I've seen a video of Stipe entering the arena. He seemed to have a bit of a limp. Is there any injury issues with him at the moment?
Stipe was limping?
Yeah.
I had lunch with him the other day. He didn't say anything about any injuries. So I don't know. Okay. Yeah, he didn't mention anything to me.
Daniel, over here.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations on another great night in New York City. Yes, sir. Everybody was commenting about how respectful everybody is to each other, respect each other. The temperature very, very low for the town fires in the world. Like the people that are complaining about it, do the tastes of the MMA fan need to change, or do the fighters need to change? Where they need to do better promoting, but like at the same time, like how do you feel about that, or what were your thoughts about it?
You talked a little fast for me at the end. Were you saying, how do I feel about the respect that was shown between everybody?
Correct.
We loved it. I mean, I was talking about being read the rules, their exchange after them. Everybody was super. This is one of those fights where you need a ton of shit talk. When out, people that do the fight movie, and everybody was responsible. It's actually kind of cool when that happens, and it makes the stare downs much easier on me.
And we also saw you dipping your toes in boxing. Are we going to see more pay-per-views in boxing, more things on you? So what's the current boxing?
Oh, I mean, right now, I like Tom Long. I like his show. I like matchmaking. HBO's out, Showtime's out, and I'm gonna use UFC. I'm gonna.
And the production was this way very, very fast paced. There was, but obviously with the last
brutal. Try to sit through a live boxing show. Try and do it. Show up to the first fight and try and do it. Yes, if you notice, the pace of the show moves fast. The matchmaking is real. Even Callum Walsh, who Freddie Roach believes in a lot and is a prospect. Yeah, these are the kind of that you'll see in that promotion, and about he's got a lot of good up and coming talent. The other thing you don't see a lot, you always get this in the boxing world. You get the big fish in a small pond type stuff. They never go outside. You got East Coast versus West Coast. That's the type of stuff you're going to on Fight Pass with 360 Promotions and Tom Loeffler.
Awesome. And one more question from me. And we saw you sitting next to Triple H. How's the relationship been with TKO, and how's been working with Vince McMahon and Triple H? Maybe some cross pollination like Pride did with New Japan Pro Wrestling.
We would do that stuff. Vince has been an amazing partner. I always like Triple H and Stephanie. So we're having a good time with those guys.
So you're saying that there's not going to be a Battle of the Billionaires 2 between Dana White and Vince McMahon. Is that correct?
What's that?
There's not going to be a Battle of the Billionaires 2 between Dana White and Vince McMahon at
It's all over. It's all over. We're buddies now. Now we're friends.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Dana down here to your right.
Yep.
In the 12 years since John Jones claimed the light heavyweight title, you've seen many a prospect who's been touted as the potential man to beat him. Now, I know there's still a lot that has to happen in terms of John and Stipe, but if John does stick around after that, how do you rate Tom's chances of
Let's see how he heals, how he looks when he back. Jones is so good. I mean, you can doubt him, you can this, you can that, you not like him. The guy's never lost a fight. Moved up to heavyweight, made it look really easy. I don't know the answer to that. I got to see how everything sort of plays out.
And how big do you think it is now? We've obviously previously had two UK champions in Leon Edwards and Michael Bisping.
Okay. Seem to have a little internet issue. Oh, and we're back.
Cheers, thank you.
Thank you.
Middle
Dan
here.
over here. So was talking over this week about the heavy division. He sees kind of an golden age for heavy guys that can do a lot more. They're not kind of plotting and maybe like the way maybe we saw in different generations before. What's your take on his thoughts on that?
I don't understand the question.
What do you see as far as the heavyweight division right now? Like in the future, like in the next 5 to 10 years kind of thing. Do you see different heavyweights now than maybe we saw in past generations?
Well, you're gonna. Yeah, I mean, if that's not the case, we're in trouble. The sport keeps evolving, the athletes keep evolving, and Aspinall is amazing. He looked great. He's got a chin too. He ate a couple shots tonight, and and like I was just saying with this gentleman over here, we have a heavyweight champion from the UK, so it's awesome.
Now, do you really want to keep him on the shelf for as much as maybe a year for Jones and Miocic to kind of sort things out, or are you gonna maybe have to start considering other options in the interim?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do yet. I talked about that earlier. We'll see what happens. You know what I mean? Like I said, he's got some money, and I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question yet.
You guys love to come to the Garden. Obviously, November is your time of the year. Have you guys ever considered, or are you considering maybe 2 times in the coming years at all?
Yeah. The thing is too, when you come to the Garden, you want to bring your A game. You want to bring the right fight. We'll probably be back the end of next year, and we'll be 1, 2, 3, and 4.
And you guys obviously you've got a relationship now with James Dolan because
over the next 3 years, we'll end up being the top 10.
You've got this relationship now with James Dolan. You've been working with him for many years here. He's got the Sphere, of course. You guys have that going on now too. Is that something you guys have ever talked about? Is there more interest on their end to get more?
Oh, 100%. 100%. They'd have us here every weekend if we could. And yes, I have a great relationship with Dolan, and I've been terrorizing him about the Sphere, and we got it done. So I'm excited.
Dana, right down the middle here. Nate Diaz was in attendance tonight. I'm just curious if you got the opportunity to speak with him, and I guess kind of where does his relationship with you stand since he left the promotion? You guys?
No, I didn't see him tonight, but he called like 2 days ago and seeing if he could get some tickets. And of course, he can have tickets. This is his house. He can come back whenever he wants to. But we haven't talked about any fights or anything like that.
Gotcha. So no business talk since the Jake Paul thing?
No.
Dana, there were some rumors a little bit ago about the Islam Makhachev and Charles Oliveira rematch, which were kind of quickly dismissed by Ali and the management team. Is that still the plan going forward to have that rematch? And if so, when would that be?
Eventually, but Volkanovski's. You talking about Volkanovski? Yeah.
Makhachev and Oliveira.
Yeah, no, we don't have anything right now. Maybe in the summer.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Dana,
that was
over here.
never a fight, by the way. That was announced. That was never a fight.
Dan over here, right next to him. The co-main event was for the interim heavyweight title, and we're preparing for Jones versus Miocic. But the original plan that we all wanted, was John Jones versus Francis Ngannou. Obviously, that didn't work out. I've seen in boxing that there's a lot of cross promotion in the divisions, whether you see people from Top Rank going to Showtime or anything of that nature. Is there an opportunity for you to cross promote with the PFL for, say, a Jones Ngannou fight? And is there anything specifically stopping that from happening?
Is there any way to stop it from happening?
Is there anything that's stopping that specific fight or a specific cross promotion with the PFL from happening?
No, I'm not interested in that. We tried to make that fight. They didn't want to do it. And it's done. He doesn't fight here anymore. I'm not interested.
So no fights with the PFL just in general?
Should I?
Possibilities.
We got 1, 2, and 3. They can't sell a fucking gate. Oh, talk to me.
Dana,
it's a stupid question, but go ahead. Talk to me. Why would I do that? I tried to make the fight here. They didn't want to do it, but I should co-promote with like a Bellator or a PFL. Why should I do that? Talk to me.
I guess it's just, a partnership with ESPN or anything like that, just in general, with just co-promoting an MMA to make, MMA fans happy, just for everyone to be involved with each other.
What? Because of ESPN?
As a partnership, yes.
You win the dumb question of the night. Congratulations, sir. What did you want to say? Did you want to chime? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
Mark Zuckerberg tore his ACL a couple of days ago. He was training for an MMA fight, but he's still super into the UFC. He wants to come back and compete. What's it like having somebody like Mark be into the UFC? He was into this fight tonight. He was into the Volkan Islam fight. What's it like having somebody with his influence be into the UFC?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of influential people that are into the UFC, and it's always a good thing. I mean, it's never a bad thing. But yes, Zuckerberg is obsessed. I mean, he's so obsessed he blew his ACL out training like a maniac. But yeah, it's awesome. I have a very good relationship with Zuckerberg. He loves the sport, and yes, the answer is yes. Having somebody like Mark Zuckerberg love the sport is incredible.
Dana, just wondering, I know you touched on it a little bit, but let's just say if like a fan approaches you tomorrow and they said that they heard Alex say Adesanya come to daddy and they want to see that fight again, just what would you say to someone that's really hoping to see those two get in the octagon?
Listen, anything is possible. I mean, Alex moved up a weight class. I don't see Izzy moving up a weight class, but I don't know. I mean, I'm sure people do want to see it again. I don't know the answer to that question yet. We'll see when Izzy comes back, what he wants to do, where his head is. I mean, if you look at what he's accomplished in his time here too, whatever he wanted to do, if he wanted to move up and fight Pereira again, we'd probably do it. Probably give him a fight at that weight first if he wins, and then give him a shot at Pereira. I don't know. I wouldn't say that we would never do it.
Dana, right back here. 2024 is coming up. What percentage of, or a rough percentage of the fight nights do you think will be on the road and not in the Apex?
What's the question?
What percentage of fight nights in 2024 will be on the road
I don't know. You hate the Apex?
No, I just like the road.
All right, sir. What publication do you write for?
740 The Fan out of Fargo, North Dakota.
He writes for who?
North Dakota. 740 the fan.
Yes.
740 The Fan, North Dakota.
Yes.
What's your name, sir?
Josh Linus.
You better be at every fucking fight night
I would love to be.
that happens next year.
I would love to be. You be on
Okay?
the road, I'll be there.
No matter where we do a fight night, you better be there.
Sounds good.
Deal.
Dana,
Yeah.
Alex Pereira won 2 belts at Madison Square Garden. Is there any chance of him defending this belt in Brazil in the next time?
Hell yes, he will. I've been talking to you guys a lot about Brazil. We're in a big rebuilding phase down in Brazil right now. And obviously, you know, having another champion now is a big deal. Popular guy. So, yeah, tonight was definitely a big night for Brazil.
In the stadium, soccer stadium. In a soccer stadium.
Soccer stadium. Okay. You guys all want stadium shows, huh? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah.
Thank you.
French market. One question. French market.
Dana, Benoit Saint-Denis strongly believes there's a threshold, glass ceiling, with the top 5 in the lightweight division. He wants to break it. On the team, we think he's probably a fight away from breaking to that top 5. Some think it's 2, so I want you to cut it out. How far is he away from fighting the likes of Justin Gaethje or Dustin Poirier, BSD, Benoit Saint-Denis?
Yeah, Benoit thinks he could break into the top 5. How close do you think he is to that?
Yeah. Where's he at now? What's his ranking now? He's
Well, he wasn't ranked, but I'm thinking he's going way better than what Frivola was ranked at 14.
Well, first of all, great question to ask in this room. All the people in this room make that decision, not me. And he just beat Frivola, who's ranked number 14. So you beat 14. Maybe if the media thinks that he's, you know, he beat 14 easily. He made it look easy. Maybe he goes to 10 on Tuesday. I don't. I mean, that would be a big jump. But maybe he goes to 10. But
what matters to us is number 10 can fight number 2 and number 3 pretty soon.
What's that?
Can the ranked number 10 fight number 2 or number 3 pretty soon?
Oh, would we put him in a fight with number 2 or number 3?
That's right.
Sure. Are you his agent? Huh? Are you his agent?
Proud Frenchness, you know that. French pride. French pride.
Proud Frenchman. I love it, man. Hey, listen, this is how it works. I love it. You know, this is how you get a guy that explodes in a country or a region or whatever it is. And yeah, so on Tuesday, most of the people in this room and the media will determine where he ranks in that division, and we'll see. And then we'll get back into matchmaking, see when he's ready to turn around. And you know what I believe we could do? I believe we could go to France and headline him, you know, on a card there. And yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's exciting. I'm happy about it, and it's going to be fun. We'll see. Thank you. You guys done? Yeah? Have a great night, everybody. Thank you.
Expect we'll have some people coming through, Casey. Oh, good. I think my internet's being crap right now. Oh, no, we're back. That's good. Thank you.
You're here. We got you.
So, Casey, I think we're
Francis
just going to
Ngannou, John
what
Jones.
Dana said, because
yeah,
it's a lot of people's first rodeo. When you get to events like Madison Square Garden, you get some questions. They're like, first time? This is your first time. You know who else says the first time, Casey? Tom Aspinall is a first-time champion. Knocks out Sergey Pavlovich. Did it in straight-up fashion that these two men compete. 1 minute and 9 seconds. That fight was over. That fight hit the under half, which was like plus 120 or something. Everyone knew it was happening. We got what we expected. How are we feeling about the new interim heavyweight champion, Tom Aspinall? Where are you going to rank him in our ranking cycle coming up? How just tell me all your Tommy Aspinall things.
I did pick Tommy Aspinall to win this fight. I did not think it would go like this. I did not think he would win in under a minute. I did not think he would win it just by throwing big hands at each other's at Pavlovich's head. I'm not shocked. I was gonna be shocked, honestly, anything that happened this fight because, as we've said all week, there's just so many mysteries about these two gentlemen, especially fighting at a high level. Is this fight? What happens when it goes to the third round? There's still so many questions we don't know, but Tommy Aspinall did it, and I will have him ranked as the #1 heavyweight in the world until Francis Ngannou gets booked for a fight, an MMA fight.
Look, we're happy to have you. I've had Tom Aspinall as my #1 since they forced me to kick Francis Ngannou out of the rankings. I'm going to try and sneak Francis back in based on the Fury fight. We're currently having a heated argument about that in our Slack channel right now, and whether we're going to allow this sort of chicanery going on. But if not, Tom Aspinall will be my #1 because I think he's the best heavyweight in the world. Maybe that's including Francis Ngannou. I would pick Tom Aspinall to beat John Jones, and I know I wouldn't be like wildly confident in it. It's still John Jones, but been super high on him for a while, and then this fight, it's hard to say we learned a ton because it was a minute long, but I mean, all the stuff you wanted to see from him out there happened. He took a shot from Pavlovich, didn't fold, took a shot. So like we know that he can take shots. A lot of other people have taken that shot and just kind of froze up. Took a shot. He's still incredibly fast. I probably the fastest dude in that weight class. His ability to cover distance, the combination work, like he's just really, really good and still so young. Like,
athleticism at heavyweight MMA goes so far.
Chico. Dude, I say that all the time, particularly because like the best example of it is Andrei Arlovsky was a plus heavyweight, like a very plus athlete, won a title, and then has been around for 20 years despite not really being good. But he's just like athletic, and that's good enough to have a 20-year career. So I think we can all expect big things. Like some people mentioned, I think it's very likely that Tom Aspinall ends up being elevated to the undisputed champion title, and he'll be fighting Cyril Gane or something this summer. Maybe it's defending the interim belt. Maybe John and Stipe have done their thing and we can move on. But I suspect Tom Aspinall is going to be at or near the top of this division for the next 7-8 years. So get used to him because he's going to be around in your life. And I suspect he will be the next guy up for our interview, but we'll see that in a moment. What were you going to say, Casey?
If Aspinall and okay, first
check
of all,
check. Hey, 1 2 3 4. Hey, good.
Just a little mic check, just making sure.
If Aspinall and Pavlovich fought, based on what you saw tonight, if they fought 10 more times, 9 more times, whatever, how many times does Pavlovich win? Or do you think that's a 10 out of 10 type of? Is he
I don't think it's 10 out of 10. I don't think it's 10 out of 10, but it could be 10 out of 10. Again, it can't make major choices because of how short it was. But the fact that Tom could take a shot makes me think that he definitely wins more than not. But I still am pretty high on Sergey Pavlovich. The fact that he was able to hit Tom Aspinall, who's been very difficult to hit because he's so fast, he's so cagey, he's his defense first in a lot of his orientation. I still think that I would never feel confident saying he's going to blank him, even after watching that, because Sergey got that death touch, man.
It seems like actually Tommy Aspinall has a bit of that death touch too. I mean, it's
Tom.
right.
I mean, Tom can hit people real hard. I don't think it's the same because it's obviously great. He's athletic and he moves real fast, and so you're going to hit people real hard. He feels more Connery in that a lot of it is speed and precision and less like raw power, whereas like the way Sergey hits people feels more of a thud, if that makes sense. It's maybe not the best way to put it, but dude, he can hit people, he can tap people, He's incredibly quick. This dude's going to be around for a minute.
Actually, what impressed me the most about Tom Aspinall, honestly, this is what I learned tonight to me, is that he wasn't afraid of the fire. I think that's super impressive.
Yeah.
The big show, he's fighting on the road, kinda, and short notice. Like,
Came in on
maybe
10 days notice
10
or
days
whatever.
notice, looked fine, and he wasn't afraid of that fire, and that is. And I don't want to speak too much about last week, but with Almeida, Derek Lewis, how I don't want to say Almeida was afraid of that Derek Lewis, heat, but there was that I actually thought that Aspinall might go that Almeida route, maybe for 1 or 2 rounds. In terms
I thought he would
get,
certainly try it at first
try,
because I think he still should have, but obviously didn't need to.
Yeah,
But
and this is what I kind of joked about this on our Slack channel, but it's like, oh, look at Aspinall, he didn't wrestle, because I felt like that was gonna be if Pavlovich would have knocked out Tom Aspinall, I felt like that would have been the big story. I can't believe the grappler didn't grapple. No, we think of like Curtis Blades and a lot, but I don't know, Tom Aspinall, he did it. I don't know. It was a lot to process in 60 seconds, or was it 70-second fight or whatever.
69 seconds.
69 seconds.
Yeah, it was a lot to process. Yeah, dude. I mean, Tom Aspinall, again, it's unfortunate for Pereira just because of how the main event ended. But even if that ends cleanly, I think Pereira's probably still the 1B takeaway story from this night because of just what Tom Aspinall is, who he's going to be. I mean, the fact that Pereira is obviously an incredible story, but he's not going to be in our lives for much longer. He's 36, and he's just not going to, at best, he's got 5 years, and that even feels like a stretch. Tom Aspinall's probably in for a decade plus,
Yeah,
So I think
barring
that's
major
a more
injuries,
compelling story.
we have a lot of Tom Aspinall in our life.
Dude, plus, he's not going to have any tread on the tires. He's not going to get shop worn if he just keeps beating everybody in 60 seconds or less. That's the easiest way to have a long career. You never get hit. So incredible. But you said something about not being afraid of the fire, which I want to talk about. The feature fight. Mackenzie Dern facing Jessica Andrade. Andrade knocks out Mackenzie Dern. Not knocked out cold, but just a mercy stoppage after dropping her 4 times. Mackenzie Dern is not afraid of the fire, but she does not know what to do in the fire. She is willing to run headlong into it, but man, that was just an ass beating to watch, wasn't it, Casey?
And I think we mentioned this very beginning of the show. Like, this is just the weirdest part of MMA. How Dern got dropped like 6 times, and yet the main event, Yuri got hit. Fight's over. It's just weird how this works. But man, when Mackenzie Dern goes down, she goes, man. She just, I don't know. I really kind of
flop drop.
Yeah, I kind of admire the way she loses.
Fell, it was dramatic.
Yeah,
it was great.
And
it was dramatic, and she would fall and then roll and just be there because she's tough as $2 steak, man. But
yep, and I think was it Keith Peterson was the ref, correct? I
believe that's correct. That sounds right.
I thought the stoppage was great. I thought he recognized who kind of Dern was. He respected the stakes of the fight for Dern and gave her every chance, especially with her dangerous ground game. And he was aware of that, so it was like, okay, if it's kind of like when Verdum used to get dropped all the time, but obviously was even a bigger threat on the ground. And I liked how, Oliveira. So I enjoyed, I liked the stoppage a lot by Keith Peterson by giving Dern the respect she deserved to get her. She had earned that ass kicking tonight.
Here is something we don't say every day. Keith Peterson did a very good job. Mark Goddard in your main event probably could have done a little better. Not every day that Keith Peterson does a better job than Mark Goddard. But
so I threw a poll on our chat.
Weird evening.
And asked about the main event stoppage, and the options were, just to put it out there, late stoppage, perfect stoppage, early but justified, or horrible stoppage, just horrible. 7% late. I think those are just jokesters.
Yeah.
22% of you had perfect stoppage. Only 22%. Over 53% of you had early but justified. And then 18% had just horrible stoppage, just horrible. And I'm in the 18%, but we're looking half our audience out here thought it was like, I get it.
I'm
So
in the that's the thing. I'm in the early but justified because particularly on one watching it live, I'm live blogging, so it's always hard for me to really even know what's going on. But watching it live while blogging, I felt that it was early. Then when you watch the replay, I see why he did it. Yuri does fall back in a way that is unconscious, and then immediately Pereira's on him. I still would say in that situation, I always am kind of erring on the side of let him take one more punch because like that's not really gonna be the difference maker. It's the extra 500 punches or whatever. It's not the one, but I get why it happened. I think it's slightly unfortunate, but it's not that bad. And really, the key for me here is if Yuri's not going to complain about it, then I don't have to care about it anymore. If Yuri complained, which I think he could be justified in doing, then I'd be more open to it's an early stoppage. Maybe let's run it back. But Yuri's like, nah, I'm good with it. And if he's good with it, it's his career. I'm fine with it as well. Even if I would have liked a little bit better, I think it doesn't need to be the main story from this. The main story can just be, hey, Alex Pereira keeps being real weird. Like
keeps doing weird, and then in that first round, he had those cool kicks to the leg, but when he got taken down, he didn't look good
How'd
on
you
his
score the
back.
first round?
I scored for Yuri. I scored for Yuri.
Did you? I thought that was justified. I scored it for Pereira blogging, but when I wrote about it afterwards, it was like, yeah, I think you can score that for Yuri, and it's fine. I'm not sure, and that is the thing. Pereira is not. I do think he gets overblown by a certain subset of the community as being a one trick pony, because I think he has. I mean, he's a BJJ brown belt under Glover. Like that's a legit BJJ brown belt. He has clearly worked hard to shore up deficiencies in his thing. He is never going to be an offensive grappler, but I think everyone just acts like he totally can't do anything, but he can. But what he does on the floor is what we saw. He is not going to be creating scrambles and rolling and creating offense out of that. He is going to focus entirely on safety and eventually work his way up. But he won't even do that with a ton of urgency because he doesn't need to. He knows that if he gets on the feet, that's where his bread is buttered. So I thought I thought that we'd see more of that from Yuri, and we did see some of it, but it wasn't. We credited Tom Aspinall for not forcing that issue in the co-main event. Yuri perhaps could have forced it a little more because the times he did get there obviously were the most successful moments he had in the fight.
Yeah. And I mean, outside of the leg kicks, I did feel Yuri was kind of winning the stand up until he wasn't, obviously. But
In the second round, he had started to really separate himself in a way that I was very impressed by. And then he did the thing that when I wrote my breakdown of this fight, I was like, I picked Pereira and I picked him by, I think I picked him by second round knockout. It might have been third round knockout. And the thing I said was, look, I think Geary can have a ton of success because he is incredibly durable. Dude has a phenomenal chin. And when he is flowing and getting his game going, he's going to put a ton of volume out there. But eventually, he's going to do something reckless because not all of what he does is reckless, so it might look like. But sometimes he'll just be like, I'm going to throw this open rear uppercut for no reason, or I'm just going to jump in on a flying knee. It's like at some point that's going to happen, and Pereira's going to left hook him because that's what Pereira does to people. And it played out almost exactly like that.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the problem for Yuri and that fighting style, while it's super exciting, it's very dependent on what ref you have that night, because
it does.
Very dependent on how because you're going to get Yuri fights the style, you will get hit, he will get dropped, most likely in almost every fight. But if you don't have the right ref to go, I get it, let boys be boys, But that's just how it goes some nights.
The other reason I don't care too much about the stoppage is I think that stoppage was coming, even if it wasn't. He still had a whole minute left, and Pereira had moved into mount. And I got to tell you, of the many things in life I don't want to experience, I'm pretty sure Alex Pereira mounting and dropping bombs on me is pretty high on the list of awful life experiences I would prefer
You know
to,
what? But
to not
I would say
have.
the same thing about having Glover Teixeira having a mountain me, and then Yuri wind up submitting him like 30 seconds later.
Dude, I watched that fight 4 times this week. That fight, I know that we were all enamored with it at the time. I do not think that fight gets the love that it deserves. Fight of the year, and I still think like I remember like a month
Does it hold
afterwards
up even
being
better over time?
it holds up unbelievably well.
That's awesome.
Because I
wanna see
remember
it
a
again. I
month
need to see it.
afterwards being like, dude, I think that fight might be the best fight I've ever seen. I'm not sure. And then everyone just kind of not talked about it a lot. It is not. It's the weirdest fight you can watch because it's kind of a technical masterpiece while also being impossibly sloppy. It's like they're flow rolling, but also punching each other at full speed the whole time. So it is just chaos. Dude, I still didn't even know how to score it. Like the 3 times I watched, it's like I don't know. Either dude could be winning. Fortunately, I don't have to know because I know how it ends. So that fight was awesome.
And
This fight
that's
didn't quite live up to that, but
That's
that's
what's
okay.
unfortunate because
Still
it just
great.
I feel like just Goddard took away something that we could have had something great. We could have just a definitive finish or a definitive masterpiece of a crazy typical Yuri type of fight. And we just, that's the only reason I'm just kind of like about the card. I just feel like it's got taken away from us. Just we had something great there. It was just right there. Just had Yuri wanted
little
it. Pereira wanted it. I don't know. It's just but I had a great card.
If we get a definitive finish, this is, I think, undeniably the card of the year. Because we don't, it takes a little luster off, but it was still great. I think if you paid, $80 for this, you got your money's worth. I certainly feel that way. Particularly because I mean, like just looking at it, we've got first fight of the main card, minute 30 stoppage. Benoit, second fight, minute 31 knockout. Jessica Andrade, second round, unbelievable. Mercy killing,
a
basically.
y'all must have forgot moment from Jessica
Yeah.
Andrade. Like, oh my god!
I
Yeah,
really thought that there was a real chance that could happen too. I wish I had bet more on it because I got a little scared off by how bad she had looked lately. But and then we get the 69-second stoppage from Aspinall and then another second round KO. But speaking of Tommy Aspinall, the man himself is here. Let's listen to him talk.
You can bring the pizza up. It's all right.
Well, Tom, congratulations. Obviously, been kind of a whirlwind 2.5 weeks, I imagine, for you. I mean, have you even had a chance to process what exactly just unfolded for you?
No, simply no. I think this will take a while to sink in, to be honest. It's been an absolutely crazy 2.5 weeks. I've been saying, I can tell people now, I basically didn't have any training camp at all. I wasn't really in the best shape. I got the call like 3-4 days after I pulled my back really bad. I couldn't barely even move or do anything. And yeah, it's been some, and I didn't have a visa as well. It's been some 3 weeks. Let me tell you, it's been absolutely insane.
So pre-fight at the press conference, I loved what you said. Like, I knew that, I couldn't win this thing by sitting on the couch. So I said yes. But given all the circumstances that you were facing, like, was there any part of you inside that was like, this is dumb? Like, I probably shouldn't be doing this.
Yep. That was my exact thoughts when I was sat in the locker room tonight. I was like, what am I doing? But to be honest, I get this a lot. Like, too many people in this game, I think, and in life in general, I'm not trying to be like a philosopher, but like, hide away from fear. Like they try and be like, oh, I'm not scared. I openly admit that I'm scared and I'm going to do it anyway. Like that's when I do my best. Like look, when Sergey whacked me with the overhand right, my mouthpiece started to come out. Like that's when I do my best work. When a big scary guy's coming at me like that, like that's when I'm at my absolute best. And I embrace fear like with open arms, and I'm happy to be scared and perform like that.
Well, it was a great performance, and the emotion that came out of you, I mean, immediately, I was like, you could see the realization when you knocked back. Can you just remember, like, kind of what was going through your head at that point, how hard you've worked to get where you are, and what was it at that moment?
Oh, it's just absolutely insane. Yeah, it was just like, sorry, I'm burping. Okay. Excuse me. Yeah, it was just flashbacks to the last. I'm a lifelong martial artist, My dad got me into this stuff when I was like 8 years old. It's hard, to be honest, it's always difficult for me to tell when I started off martial arts because my dad was so into it. I've just always been in the gym. Like I just used to, like I was a shy kid. I didn't have like too many friends or nothing. So I just go to the gym just because I had nothing else to do. I didn't even train. I was just sat around kicking a football around and just chilling. And I do a little like couple of techniques, and I go off again. And so, but to answer the question, I've been involved with this crazy martial arts journey for most of my life, and everything just flashed through my mind before my eyes. It was absolutely insane, and an emotion that it's difficult to get to grips with.
It's awesome. Last thing for me, I know you're going to want to take some time to just enjoy this, but have you started thinking about what's next? Because it seems like it's kind of a weird picture, right? Dana was here earlier, and he says we still got to do John and Stipe. So I asked him, would Tom defend the interim title? He's like, I don't know. He's got some money. He'll sit around. Have you started mapping it out, like what you would like to do now?
No, I've not really thought about that, to be honest. I didn't think about anything like that before this fight at all. Like I was aware of what I was up against tonight with Sergey. This is a guy that I know personally because I'm involved in these circles kind of at the top of the division. Nobody wants to fight that guy. Cut all bullshit aside, nobody wants to fight that guy. There's champions turning him down. So I knew what I was up against tonight, and I couldn't think past Sergey. So the guy's an absolute machine. And right now, I just want to chill for a bit, man. To be honest, I will see. We'll see what happens. But ultimately, I want to fight John Jones.
Tom, over here to your right, if I could. You were on vacation, Dana tells us, right?
Nearly.
So where were you?
I've got a little place in Wales. Like it's driving distance, but I've just bought a little place in Wales, which is like a holiday home, we call it in the UK. So I just go there with the family sometimes. So we had a little trip planned over there and didn't make it. Another one I've missed. I'm the worst vacation guy ever. I never seem to make it.
So how was your wife when you did that and you told her that you had to leave the vacation?
Yeah, she's not that happy, but she's used to it. If I didn't have her, I'd be. That's some of your biggest issues is your close circle to being successful, and she's very on board, as are the rest of my close friends and family. So I'm very, very lucky in that regard.
What did you do to get your back in the kind of, because I know backs are really bad when you're hurting. What did you do specifically to get yourself back in condition so that you could fight?
It's still bad. It's still not great. I've just been getting massages, seeing the chiropractor, and getting in the ice bath, getting in the jacuzzi, all the rest of the stuff. But to be honest with you, it's still not the best. I'm gonna have to get it treated properly when I go home.
When Sergey hit you with that punch early, and you the mouthpiece, and you kind of wobbled there a little bit, anything go through your head like I have to be careful, or any thought about the way the fight was going to play out?
No, it's all happening a bit faster, kind of think all that kind of stuff. Like I'm obviously aware he's got massive punches, and because I was so nervous, like I started off the fight not very well. Like I wasn't moving really well at first, and that's happened in fights before, but never against a guy like that dangerous. So yeah, he hit me with the shot. The mouthpiece started to come out a little bit. I kind of readjusted the mouthpiece on the fly, and I think that he thought he hurt me with the shot, but he didn't. So then I started cutting angles, coming back in and landing my shots, which is, you don't want to stand flat-footed and trade with a guy like that. That's why all my punches were off the angle and with the calf kicks and stuff.
And then the last thing I wanted to ask you, you win the title in your 8th fight, which is an amazing accomplishment. And the guy that fought after you won his 2nd title in his 7th UFC fight. And I wonder, just as an athlete watching somebody do that, like, can you just comment on what the significance of what Alex just did by winning a light heavyweight title and a middleweight title in the last year, and doing that all in that short period of time?
Yeah, it's fantastic. And obviously he's got a long kickboxing career as well. The guy is an absolute machine. Very scary human being also, like Sergey Pavlovich. I don't think I've ever seen him smile this week, so I'm quite scared of him as well. Hopefully I won't have to fight him one day. But yeah, he's amazing. I'm a big fan of his. I'm a big fan of Yuri's as well. Also another scary guy, another wild guy. I'm going to have to watch that fight back, obviously. I've not had a chance to see it myself yet. But yeah, they're both two great guys.
Tom, you've made no secret of how much your father has meant to your journey. And I know that your dream was always to give him that belt. But when actually getting to do that in the octagon, actually physically doing the thing you dreamed about for so long, what's that experience?
Oh, mate, it gets me emotional thinking about it. There's been a million people involved in this career, not just my dad. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've got such an amazing team around me now of heavyweights. It's fantastic. But I've trained at so many gyms over the years, all at this point near enough all over the world. Do you know what I mean? I've started training in Team Carbon when I was like 14. Then I've boxed with like the Furies for years. Now I'm got the heavyweight team going, and I go over to Holland to train with Rico Verhoeven and stuff, and I'm part of their team. And not only that, I've been numerous boxing gyms, numerous strength and conditioning people, all kinds of different stuff. Like, I've done it, and I just hope that not just my dad, but everybody who's been a small part of that can look at him and be like, I'm proud of him. Like, that makes me really, to make someone who's proud of me, who's been part of my journey. And because I respect everybody so much, you know what I mean? All the training partners, all the support, all the coaches from different gyms and different disciplines. Like, I respect everybody so much. And for somebody to look at me and be like, I was part of that journey and I'm really proud of him, that absolutely means the world to me.
You know, there was a time where you would sit in front of us and tell us, like, oh, I'm kind of nervous to fight in front of a sellout crowd. I've never done that. I might not be any good at it. And then tonight, you come out, you win the world title, you walk out the cage. Michael Bisping's there to grab you and say congratulations. Can you put into words your own personal growth? Like, being this guy who, you know, you're self-deprecating and then being able to get in there, knock out the scariest guy in the division and prove to yourself you're the best in the world.
Yeah, it's pretty trippy, mate. When I do my little crouch down thing that I do before the fight, I look to the side of Sergey's head and I see Donald Trump's head looking back at me. It's pretty trippy scenes over there. But yeah, it sounds like corny and stuff, and I don't want to be that guy, but sometimes you just got to believe in yourself, you know, and things start shifting around you to make it work. It's really bizarre. People like all these fighters, all these champions, like, the friends of mine, the close friends, they're not just like people I look up to. They're actually my friends and they give me advice. And it just means the absolute world to me that anyone would look at me and be like, I'm proud of him. Honestly, that really makes me happy.
Last one for me. I know you said that you kind of want to take some time and John Jones is the target, but Cyril Gane's calling you out, says he wants to fight.
Oh, that's interesting. After I just called him out, went to France and he turned the fight down.
Any interest?
I think he should fight Almeida. I think them guys should fight each other first and see what happens there.
Right. So I have to ask about that. When you guys put your hands on each other's shoulders at the beginning of the fight, did you know that he would reciprocate, or what went into that? Because we don't normally see that before heavyweight title.
No, I didn't know anything. I respect him as a person, as an athlete. I respect all my opponents, whether I like them or not is kind of irrelevant to me. Like, this is a sport. I treat it as a sport. I don't hate anybody. I don't, you know, I have love for everybody. I told him after the fight that I love him and I'm sorry and hope he gets back and all that kind of stuff. And I respect him before the fight, during the fight, after the fight. Opponents are irrelevant to me. Like, they're just a person that I'm fighting. It doesn't mean anything to me. I don't have to hate anybody.
Considering the short nature of the short notice nature of this fight, is he a guy you think you'll see again down the road at some point?
I think so, definitely. I believe he's like 31 years old. I'm 30 years old. We've both got another at least 5 years at this thing. And believe me when I tell you, he's going to knock everybody else out in the division. So we're going to go again.
Do you think you're the best heavyweight in the world?
Yes.
Considering that you said Sergey was the scariest fighter in the division, and we saw what you did to him in essentially no training camp, do you now think you take that moniker as the scariest guy in this division?
Don't know. I'm very friendly. So I'm not sure. Very, very nice man and friendly. But I think when that octagon door closes, I can do things that other heavyweights can't. Simple as that. Simple as that. My mind is so different, and I see shots that other people don't see. I make decisions that other people can't make, and you might look on the outside and think, this guy's got holes in his game. But you jump in and let's have a go and see how you get on.
You just said that you make, here in the center,
sorry,
you make decisions and you hit shots that others can't see. You won the fight off of a pair of left rights back to back. Was that something, again, you saw, or was it just maybe just a matter of trying to get fast hands on him, or what?
It's just reactive. That's just like a testament to my training. I've been training since I was, as I just said, 8 years old. And when I see a shot, I'll throw it. And when I don't see a shot, I won't throw it. And I believe I hit him with like a step in over left hook and a right hand, and then maybe a 1-2 after. I'm not sure. I'd have to watch it back. Yeah, I've been in this, not this sport, but I've been in martial arts a long time, and we've done plenty drills over the years with my dad and stuff like that, and with all the other coaches who've been involved, where my reactions are super fast. My eyes are super good. We still drill stuff with the eyes every day now. And yeah, it's just, practice.
Without giving away too much, what is your favorite reaction eye drill?
Reaction eye drill? Oh, So my dad's got like a little gym in his garage for the American people over there.
Thank you for the translation.
No
Needed
problem.
it.
And for years now, my dad's been like got these tennis balls, and he's just like launching them at my head, and I've got to like move the head out of the way. And I'll tell you what, it's paid off tonight, though, hasn't it, Dad? That was pretty good. I don't want to get hit with a tennis ball, so I definitely won't want to get hit by Sergey Pavlovich. So yeah, we do a lot. We do a lot of that kind of stuff. We do a lot of different training, and I've done so many unorthodox training stuff with my dad in the garage over the years, and it's all top secret stuff though, so I don't want to give too much away.
Tom
back here.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing? And congratulations on the win, by the way.
Thank you.
I think chance taking is the family business. Would you say, considering that your dad quit his job to train you, and you take a fight on short notice and win the world championship? Is there a piece of advice that he gave you at the very beginning when he started training you that he had to believe in? He believed in you enough to quit his job to train you, and now you believe in yourself enough to take these risks and chances. But is there a piece of advice or a quote that he gave you that has always stuck with you throughout your training?
It's difficult to say with my dad because we've been through hundreds of thousands of hours of conversation. Do you know what I mean? It's not just in the gym. It's the drive to the gym. It's the drive back. It's in the gym. It's at home. It's on the travel to fights. It's going to competitions as a kid every weekend. And there's a million things that he's told me, but the most important thing he tells me every single time is just enjoy yourself. Just do you. Just enjoy yourself. And that's what I always try to do.
And one more question for me. Obviously, the Great Britain market, the UK market is awesome with combat sports. And how does it feel to take back the title to your home? And you know it's going to be a party back there.
Absolutely unbelievable. I can't wait for that. But right now I'm going to enjoy tonight. But I think we should do Tom Aspinall versus John Jones in Manchester. That is something special. And I'm sure the UFC are going to be on board with that. That would be special.
Dana said he did want to bring it back to the UK, so it could happen.
There we go.
Congratulations, champ.
Thank you.
Tom, down here to you, right? Dana was just in here before, and he just said that he's open to the idea of doing a stadium. Now, obviously, the historical one would be Wembley, and I know you said that you're just taking it in right now, but now that I put that prospect to you, and maybe I know Manchester would be perfect for you, but what about yourself, John Jones at Wembley?
Absolutely incredible. Also, it doesn't have to be Manchester, but I think that if we do the greatest fighter of all time versus the UK heavyweight champion of the UFC, the UK heavyweight, you know what I mean? The UK guy who's the world champion. That would in the UK, that would be absolutely insane. Like, let's do it. Absolutely.
And John has kind of gone on record and basically said that the Stipe fight might be his last fight. And I think he said that because, he's been like down the years, he needs someone to excite him. Do you think that performance that you just put in there would excite him and get him up for one more?
How could it not? I don't think I did much wrong for him to be like, that's an easy fight. I think if I hit anybody square in the face, they're going to go to sleep. Simple as that. And John knows that. And that's no disrespect to John. I absolutely love John. Like, he's one of my favorite fighters of all time. I absolutely look up to him, but I want to fight him, and I think I can win.
And you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but what were the first words that you said to your dad, Andy?
I can't remember. I was just in a world of absolute madness.
Cheers, mate. Appreciate it.
Tom right here. This is kind of a star-making performance from you tonight. When this kind of happens, life can change a lot. People come out of the woodwork. They want things from you. They want to be your friend, all that stuff. How do you plan on handling that kind of change that may come from people around you?
I've been experiencing that a little bit over the years, do you know what I mean? But we keep a tight circle. Simple as that. Anyone who's not on the... Well, I used to say before tonight, anyone who's not helping me become the best in the world, I'm not going to be around them. But I'm the best in the world now. So we keep a tight ship. I'm happy with the people I've got around me. Absolutely incredible people. Each and every day I enjoy. Each and every day, like, I'm spending time with people I love and who care about me, and I love them back. It's not like, they're not just sucking up to me because I'm doing well in my career. Like, we're all friends. We've got family members involved. There's all kinds going on. But I'm really happy with the people I've got around me right now. I don't need anybody new.
Yeah, and one of those people who's shown you a lot of love, I know you touched on it a little bit, was Michael Bisping. You guys kind of embraced when you were leaving the cage. How much has his support meant to you through this process?
It's meant a lot to me. I used to go watch Bisping and sit up in the nosebleeds before he even knew I existed. Like for a good few times, I remember going watching Bisping against Chris Lieben in Birmingham. I don't know what year that was, but it was fucking ages ago.
2008, I think.
It was 2008. Yeah, so I would have been 15 years old then. Do you know what I mean? And we saved up and sat in the nosebleeds to watch Bisping. So me and Bisping now are good friends. He's an absolute idol of mine. I look up to him as a person and as a fighter, and I just love what he's doing. Bisping is just such a great guy, and yeah, I got a lot of respect for Bisping.
Congrats, man. Enjoy it.
Tom in the front.
Yes,
Down
hello.
the middle here. Tom, did you get the chance to talk to your? I know it's really early in the morning
Yeah.
over at home, but did you get the chance to talk to your wife? And
Not yet. Not yet.
Yeah.
My dad tried to call her, but she didn't pick up. So I don't think she knows yet. I'm not sure.
So there was no plans for her to, or the kids even.
No, absolutely not. And my oldest kid now, he's 7, so he started realizing a little bit what's going on, and he actually watched Pavlovich and was like, "It's going to be a tough one, Dad." He's like, he goes a lot of rankings because he doesn't know, like, the rankings definitely stand for something, but he knew that Pavlovich was ranked number 1 and I was ranked number 4. He was like, "Oh, this guy's number 1. You have to be careful here, Dad. This is," and then he started telling me a game plan, and then he said, "You got to remember it though. Make sure you remember it." I was like, "Yeah, will do." He said, "You're gonna have to write it down, Dad. You're gonna have to write it down and take it with you." It's like, all right, but I'm sure he'll be happy when he finds out.
Well, what was the game plan?
Not what I did. No, the game plan was like use my movement, use the calf kicks, which were working really well. Don't like square up with him, let him come straight on, which I did okay, to be fair. To be honest with you, I was really nervous in there, and I couldn't get my movement going well straight away. I felt like I started a little bit slow in comparison to normal, but I'm not complaining. We got the win.
Was that because of the back, the movement going?
I think so. I don't know. I don't know if it's the back or the back's actually all right now. It's not as bad as it was. I don't want to milk it. It was quite bad, but it's all right now. But I was just nervous, man. To be honest, I was very scared backstage.
I understand you felt like you maybe owed your family a vacation, a holiday,
Yep.
because of the interruption of everything with this. Might they expect a greater holiday, maybe something more special? Because
Absolutely, they deserve everything, and I've been away so much lately, with fighting and training and traveling, and I've just not been at home much. So I need to spend some time there for a little bit and make it up to them.
And the last one for me, I mean, obviously, if you're going to be waiting for John Jones, you might be waiting a while because he may not come back till, who knows, summer, could
Yep.
be later than that. Is that something you're prepared to do? Wait even more, as much as a year or more to get
No,
to the fight?
I don't want to wait a year. I definitely don't want to wait a year. But I think that me and Jones is the fight to make, to be honest. So if I have to wait a year, I will. Like, that's the fight that I really, really want. And I think that me and John in the UK, that's just a dream for everybody. At the UFC, fans, everybody will love that. So that's what I'm aiming for.
Yeah. Tom, just over here. Congratulations on an amazing KO victory. Tom Aspinall is now the interim heavyweight champion from Manchester, England. Do you have a message to your fans back home?
It just means more to me than anyone will ever know, to be honest. Yeah, I just appreciate it a lot. Like, where I'm from is very, very important to me. But not only that, I got so much love here as well. Like, I didn't expect it. I didn't know what to expect, to be honest. Everyone's just been so nice, and it goes a long way. And I really, really appreciate everybody and anybody who's even wished me good luck or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Showed support in any kind of way. It absolutely means the world to me. And I'd love to thank everyone individually, but obviously I can't. And just means the absolute world.
Tom, right down the middle here. While you were sitting up there about 5 minutes ago, John Jones tweeted about you.
Oh, that's nice. Okay.
It's a nice tweet. He said, "Congratulations on the interim heavyweight championship belt. That was an awesome performance." So to hear that from him, the guy that many consider to be the greatest fighter of all time and a prospective future opponent of yours, I guess, how does that feel?
I've seen John talking nice stuff about me on a podcast as well. It's really nice. Obviously, it's always nice to hear nice things about you, but from someone like that who I massively look up to even more so. Yeah, thank you, John. And just give me the opportunity, John. Let me do it. Give me my dream fight. Why not? I've just achieved my dream now. Give me my dream fight. Let me fight for my legacy now, please.
And Tom, just on to your left, can you actually explain this week now in terms of Atherton to Times Square, your face lighting up, and then now you're the interim heavyweight champ of the UFC? Because not many people do things like that from the Northwest, so it's just incredible.
Didn't know you were coming, mate. It's nice to see you here. You
Cheers,
blended in there. We got Manchester in the house. It's lovely. That's excellent. Yeah, mate, it means the absolute world. As I said, where I'm from is extremely important to me. Just everything about it. I just love the whole northern culture and just everything, just everything. And I just hope people are proud of me, man. I feel like I've done a big thing, at least in my life, and I hope that people can look at it and get some kind of inspiration from it. Do you know what I mean? It's as people from the Northwest, we're not told we can do stuff. We're always suppressed, I feel. Luckily enough, I've got amazing parents and I wasn't, but I hope I can be that guy who's someone is starting out in martial arts and is like, he's from the same place I'm from. I can do it as well. If I can do that a little bit, that's mission accomplished.
Tom, congrats, mate.
Thank you.
Tommy Espinal, Tommy Espinal. That's him. That is your interim UFC heavyweight champion. Man, what a delightful human being Tom Aspinall was.
I dig it, man. I dig his vibe. I love everything about it.
I'm excited to hate him in 2 years.
Oh, don't say that. When everyone doubts
I'm
him.
going to. Yeah. When no one's doubting him, look, because this is where I was on Volkanovski, and then the tables turn. I'm excited to have these 2 years and then get there ahead of schedule. It's going to be great. But, what just a class act. Guy's great in there. I love everybody. I was terrified of Sergey Pavlovich, saying all the right things. It was terrific.
Being self-deprecating.
I think he's about to be very sad.
Positive way. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think he's about to be real sad with. Like, that was even just the sweetest thing. John, give me my dream fight.
Give me my dream fight.
He's not going to do that. But I hope the best for him. Because if somehow it happens, that's my most anticipated fight of 2024. If somehow it happened. I don't believe that it will, but it'd be terrific. I think everyone would be on board to watch that one. So maybe we can dare to dream, Casey.
I would love to know what the betting line would be if they booked that fight.
John will be the favorite.
Just because.
One, they won't book that fight until after Stipe. So then John will roll over Stipe and people will forget about thing because it's a what have you done for me lately. And so John will be the favorite, but probably won't be that big a favorite. Minus 200, something like that. Maybe even tighter, just because Tom's obviously riding such a wave. So, look, knock on wood, hope that it happens. Seems really unlikely to me, but if the end result means we get Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane or Jailton Almeida or any of the other dudes at heavyweight, that's also pretty good because I'll watch that dude fight anybody at this point in time. Because it also won't take you very long.
Does Tom Aspinall, can he be? I'm gonna go ahead and say no, but can he be that? Can he be a star, like a true star? You think so?
I don't know what you mean by true star, but
I get.
Also, you on the preview show, you were arguing that Stipe wasn't you that argued that Stipe was a star. Somebody was arguing.
No.
It
was
I don't remember who
bigger.
it was.
It was Mike Heck saying that Stipe is more popular than Derek Lewis.
Yeah, which is very wrong. I was texting AK as I listened to that Friday afternoon. I was like, "Oh my, you guys got off the rails on this preview show. Everyone is saying takes that are insane, and that one's obviously incorrect." I think Tom Aspinall, like right now as a champion, is probably the same kind of star that Stipe is. But he has so much room to grow into. Like if you take Tom to Manchester, England, he's going to blow the roof off the thing. But I also think that he has potential to elevate, certainly in this sport. I think it won't get to Conor level, but
yeah,
he could get to John Jones level stardom.
You think so? Okay. I
Well,
wonder
there's a difference
if
between John Jones level like greatness, obviously, and what he has achieved. But John Jones is a good quality star, but he is not like he doesn't draw enormous pay-per-view numbers. He just draws well, and people respect him as the greatest fighter of all time. So there is that. But I think if you're talking just numbers, I think Tom Aspinall has the potential to get to that sort of level, particularly as we were talking about earlier. He's still real young. If he holds the belt for a while, he's gonna get there.
I always question non-shit talking champions. You know.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
I
it's harder.
absolutely love Tom Aspinall, so I really do. So I hope
It's harder, but you
gets,
remember, I mean, until DC revealed that who John was trying to be GSP 2.0, you know, at light heavyweight and not doing it. It still was working. I mean, part of this will matter. If he gets to fight John and he beats John, then he's elevated immediately. But rivalries always are key to building stars. So he will need a rival that can push him and create a narrative because, you know, we saw it with Anderson Silva. We've seen it with basically everybody. Yeah. I mean, John Jones would be a great one. I hope it happens. I am not so cautiously not optimistic for it. Quick rundown because we didn't talk about this.
Oh, let's talk about the card. Go on. What are you gonna say?
I was going to bonuses because we didn't talk about bonuses because Dana was muted when we were doing it. Your fight of the night is Slava Claus versus Sadikov, the fight that ends in a draw. I mean, one of the best fights of the year. That's probably making my list of 5 for our end of year ballots as it
That
currently
fight
stands.
had no. I don't know how that. When I was looking at that card, I didn't go, "Oh, that could be fight of the year," and that's what I love. You know, just a random fight in a card. There wasn't any particular excitement for this fight, and holy moly.
I thought that fight would be boring if Sadikov just took him down, and if he didn't, I thought Sadikov would just get blasted. But instead, it was just brass knuckles the whole way. It was awesome. Ruled. That fight's amazing. Well-deserved fight of the night. And then they went for the special. You were almost there, Casey, in the Slack when you said, "I hope that these guys get their win bonuses." They got fight of the night, and they did go a little extra mile. All 5 main card fighters who got finishes got performance bonuses. Alex Pereira, Tom Aspinall, Jessica Andrade, Benoit Saint-Denis, and Diego Lopez all coming home with an extra $50K for their performances. Tough scenes for Jamal Emmers, who had a 50-second KO to open the entire card up. Tough scenes for Jared Gordon, who had.
But Jared Gordon.
That's right.
Emmers didn't miss weight.
I forgot that Emmers missed weight. In my head, I was thinking Bazooka was the one who missed weight. Right. And then Jared Gordon with a really delightful KO of Mark Madsen.
That was
gets a tough one. So
yeah.
So it goes. But how do we feel about performance bonuses? Do we think we've at least done this right in the broad speaking? Fight of the night, I think, is inarguable. Are we happy we went with 5?
All I hope is that Joshua Van and Kevin Boras got some extra money too, because that fight was awesome too. That I was actually saying that was one of the best fights of the year until 2 fights later, or whatever, when Sadikov and what's his nickname? What's his Borscht?
Slava Claus.
Slava Claus. Okay.
Slava Claus.
Slava Claus.
Remember that one. It's easier to remember Vyacheslav Borscht.
I was trying to say his name.
Slava Claus is easier. The rest of the card too was awesome. Like Lupe Godinez, Tabitha Ricci, super fun fight. Mateusz Rebecki just kind of runs over Roosevelt Roberts, which is biggest favorite on the card. He acted like it. Jared Gordon, Mark Madsen, John Castaneda, Kyung Ho Kong. I'll admit I actually missed most of this fight, so I can't speak to what happened here. I was watching the UGA football game.
It was a solid fight. Yeah.
That's sort of what I expect from Kyung Ho Kong at this point. He's not really going to blow your doors off, but he's usually going to be in good fights. Josh Van Kevin Boras was really fun. That was my low-key banger coming in, and it delivered. And Jamal Emmers blowing the doors off Dennis Bazooka. I mean, again, this was probably the fight card of the year, Casey. At least one of them. I'm trying to think back to what else would take it over, but we were really cooking with gas here.
Of that, but God, just the main event.
Yeah. We got to have Jose Youngs. Jose is the guy who knows those things all the time, but if the main event delivers a little bit better, I think it's undeniably the card of the year. Instead,
Yeah.
it's going to be in the conversation at least because this ruled. Let's talk about Benoit Saint Denis. While if you're just joining us, we are still at the post fight presser. We're waiting. We believe Alex Pereira will be the next one up, but there is a world where Sergey Pavlovich comes back. There's a world where Yuri comes back. So I don't know how many we're getting. Pereira is one that we would definitely be getting. So let's talk about Benoit Saint Denis versus Matt Frevola, because Benoit Saint Denis is 27 years old. Come Tuesday, he will be ranked in the UFC's lightweight rankings. They're not the rankings that matter, but he's also going to be ranked in our lightweight rankings. I would bet a whole pile of money on come the next time we do a lightweight update. What is the future for this kid? Because he has looked unreal since dropping to 155 after his debut.
Just, I'm not gonna give the whole he's gonna be wearing a belt one day, or he'll even be fighting for a championship. But
it's hard to say that a lightweight.
Yeah. But you know what, dude? He's all action. He's must see TV. That's all. He's must see TV
every time out, man.
In a fantastic weight class.
In a fantastic weight class.
In a fantastic.
We don't have to have that argument. A fantastic weight class is good enough for me. I loved his post fight. I loved his post fight where one, ambitious. He's probably not going to get some of those things, but I loved the line where he was like, "Yeah, I want to fight Justin Gaethje. I want to fight Islam Makhachev. They're not going to last 3 rounds with me." This dude isn't saying I'm going to win the belt. He's saying I'm going to beat you in regulation. We don't need championship rounds because that's how I get down. And thus far, he has. Like, dude, I'll watch this dude fight anybody. He has risen very quickly to the top of my.
It's gonna be so fun matchmaking for him.
I have the one. I can't wait for the post show. I'll clue you in. It's Rafael Fiziev. It's him and Rafael Fiziev.
I just can't wait that long though. That's the problem. I want it. Rafael Fiziev doesn't have does Moicano have a fight?
I thought I saw Moicano. That's Mike Heck's category. That's not where I'm at, but
I was thinking the Moicano.
Dan Hooker's fighting somebody. I don't remember.
Bobby
who
Green.
It is, though.
Bobby Green.
Bobby Green. Yeah, Dan Hooker would have been fun. I mean, BSD Bobby Green. The winner of BSD versus the winner of Bobby Green, Dan Hooker would be dope. Sign him up. Pick any name. Any
That's
name
what I
at the
mean.
top.
He's that era. He's kind of that point where like everything makes sense. Really, like that sounds fun. You know, just have him fight a brick wall. That sounds fun. I can see that.
Shaheen has messaged me that Fiziev tore his ACL, which I forgot, so he's just not going to be back.
That's why. Yeah, it's going to be out for a while. Yeah.
I in my head I was not there. Yeah. Here's the thing with him. I think given how young BSD is, how impeccable he has looked, they made Matt Frevola fight back because they sort of said it on the broadcast. Everyone kind of underestimates him. It's sort of unfortunate, but there was a bit of a Frevola made his way into the rankings, but maybe is more a top 20-ish guy than a top 15 guy. I think they're going to look at BSD and be like, he does not need to hold this position down. We need to advance him, give an opportunity to advance up the rankings. So his next fight's going to be awesome because anybody he fights is going to be incredible. I don't think we'll ever get a fight with him versus Gaethje because I think Gaethje is very close to ending his career, which will be sad for all of us. But that would be.
I think he could be the second coming of Gaethje. Once Gaethje moves on,
might be the next guy.
Yeah, it feels like. Ooh,
that's great. We need to refill the ranks. You know,
Jalen Turner, is he fighting? That'd be interesting.
I mean, I'll always watch Jalen Turner fight because he's too large. I don't understand him.
But that's the fun part. You can't screw up. I can just name any lightweight. Oh, that sounds good.
Pick a top 20 lightweight, and it's going to work.
I'm down.
You put those two together, you're going to make a stew.
Yeah.
That's why it's a terrific weight class. So I was high on BSD coming into this year. I mean, he has had incredible 2023.
I wasn't, and now I'm sold. I'm sold now. Like I think what DC.
You weren't coming in the other two didn't get you. The Ishmael Bonfim one was where I was like, okay, I need to take notice of this dude, because like your first introduction is the Easy D fight. He's getting just blown around the cage in the worst way, but it's at welterweight, and then he beats two dudes who aren't really notable at lightweight. The Ishmael Bonfim one, when he wins that one, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna stand up and take notice. And then Thiago Moises, who I have a lot of respect for, I mean, just did the damn thing again. I was like, all right, this kid's got something. Now I'm all in. Like this is my new guy to support to the top of this weight class.
I think the difference was for me, this was a kind of a featured fight. You know, like
Mhm.
because I even noticed on the pay per view they made like a nice video package for this fight too. It wasn't just like the boring, I'm gonna win this fight by knockout. It was like a really like almost like a co-main event type of video package. I'm like, oh, the UFC put some money and some time and resources into promoting this fight. So
He's
that's
young. He's young, and he can be the standard bearer for French MMA. Like I think that they can see that and know that that's a guy that they should maybe try to get behind, because they lost out on Cedric Doumbé. So I guess here we go now with them.
maybe they'll co-promote. Maybe they'll co-promote. I'll ask Dana this the
I,
next presser.
I think we learned, if we learned nothing else today, Casey, I think we definitively learned that the UFC is not going to be co-promoting anytime soon with the PFL. God, that was
like Dana just says Dana doesn't even answer the question. He just goes, "You're stupid."
Yeah, that's the dumbest question
He just
of the
called that guy
day.
stupid for having the audacity to go, "Hey, why don't you book maybe the biggest possible mixed martial arts fight in the world?" You're an idiot for even asking that question.
I do agree that it's a stupid question, because we all knew the answer.
He just
Like,
the
I don't
reporter
run
just set
around
it up
asking
wrong.
those, but yeah, he could have done better, but
He could have done
that
better.
was always the answer that was going to happen. So,
You're
um, it is. Besides, France isn't even going to fight for the PFL. Francis has other things to do for the time being. So, John Jones missed out. Sorry for you, John. That's a tough scene. Now, if you want to fight somebody, it might be Tom Aspinall, which is going to be tough hangs. Who would you pick right now, Tom Aspinall or John Jones?
Right now?
Not
Oh,
right,
wait,
not right
oh, wait,
now, but like
too
by the
healthy.
time it would happen would be November of next year, probably, because Stipe will happen late spring, early summer. We're talking late fall of next year. Those two dudes. Who would you pick?
Aspinall.
Let's go, Tommy Aspinall. Tommy Aspinall.
I still think John Jones is still his best at 205. I don't think he's
I agree.
a heavyweight. I know he beat Cyril Gane, who is a heavyweight, but Cyril Gane has limitations. Aspinall doesn't look like he has limitations right now. He looks like the real deal. And I would love to see
I was
him fight.
always very skeptical of John at heavyweight. Not that he couldn't do it, but just like the John had a lot of advantages in light heavyweight, and losing those makes him an interesting fighter. I also think that it's not really too bold to say that we probably haven't gotten the best John Jones for a while, because he came into the sport young, and there's only so much tread you have in the tires, and he had some really big fights and took a lot of damage. So I would pick Tom Aspinall.
And now he's a much heavier fighter, and he's training with much heavier people, and injuries happen when you're training with much heavier fighters.
Is this his first like really major injury? I can't remember.
It is actually his first. This is his
Yeah,
first.
I
This
was-
is his first
it
time he's
felt
pulled
like
out of a
that.
fight of significant time from an injury.
Yeah,
Obviously
and
he's had other issues, and he is 30, coming up to 37. Lots of tread now.
Yeah, I mean the fight won't ever happen. It's a shame. Fight would be very, very fun. What else do we have to talk about from this particular fight card, Casey? What do you feel like we haven't given enough credit to?
Enough credit. If Jamal Hill is not ready to go within 6 months, who's
I
next
guess we
on
didn't
there?
mention this at all, because Alex Pereira afterwards has what honestly was like a. Oh, never mind. Alex Pereira, the man himself, is here. The new champ. Let's listen in.
Well, Alex, congratulations on the victory tonight. I guess, can you just put into words what this means to already be the champion of a second division this early in your UFC career?
Alex, parabéns aí para a sua grande vitória hoje à noite. Coloca pra gente aí o que significa para você estar vencendo a sua segunda divisão na sua vida.
Bom, significa muito para mim, né? Esse é o resultado de um trabalho bem feito nesses longos anos, né? E, pô, essa conquista agora, pô, claro, sempre difícil, né? Mas muito importante. É onde eu consigo, né, mostrar um pouco para as pessoas, né, que às vezes não acreditam num sonho, não acreditam onde pode chegar, né? Todo mundo sabe assim da minha história, sair de onde eu saí, né? Chegar onde eu cheguei com o mundo agora, né? E eu acho que tudo é possível, né? Então estou mostrando isso. Eu acho que é muito importante, né, mostrar isso.
It means a lot to me to be able to conquer this after so many years of training and dedication, and also it's very important for me to be able to show to everybody, you know what I mean? Everybody know where I came from, my humble beginnings. So to get here and achieve this is a big achievement for me.
Very nice. Yuri, obviously notoriously kind of wild, difficult to predict, unique. How did you find being in there with him? Was it more challenging maybe than you thought?
Pô, devido ao estilo dele, né? Ser um cara mais diferente, do jeito que ele se move e tudo, meio único. Como é que você achou estar lá dentro com ele?
Bom, eu sempre pensei isso, né? Que era a luta perfeita para mim, claro, sabendo que, pô, ia ser difícil, ia ser uma guerra ali, mas o estilo dele ali, pô, favorecia, né, pro meu estilo. Então, não fiquei assim surpreso, né? Eu fiquei um pouco surpreso porque eu achei que ele iria atacar um pouco mais e seria mais agressivo, mas eu tava ali achando a distância, né? E, pô, consegui achar a distância.
Ooh, having some technical difficulties. One moment.
Again, I actually thought that was me, so I was just scrambling around.
Yeah. Hold on, let me hit.
Jose has mentioned that the Wi-Fi has been fairly spotty in MSG for them, so I suspect that's the case. But look at how it's just resplendent.
Look at the champ, frozen like Elsa. Like
Claro,
Really? Oh, he's back.
dele, tá torcendo por ele. Com certeza vão falar algo, mas, pô, ele já é o cara que tava sentindo as porradas e ele, pô, falou que foi correto.
No, man, he was feeding those punches. I felt he was feeding those, and then when he got in, he got connected to the left hook, and then the cross. Once he dropped on my legs, which he was not like getting a takedown, but he actually fell. I start punching. I start feeling that he was a little bit fading away, and I think it was a good stoppage. I know maybe his friends and his supporters, his people, his fans, gonna maybe try to say that was not, but I think it was the correct way.
Nice. Last thing for me, you mentioned the name Adesanya again. Dana was here earlier, and he said, look, Jamal Hill's next. Is that a fight that you welcome, and what do you think of Jamal as an opponent?
Bom, por último aí, né, sobre a Adesanya, você acha que é uma luta certa para você? E sobre o Jamal também.
O Adesanya eu falei ali em cima, né? Pô, foi um cara que, assim, me motivou muito a fazer o que eu fiz, né, aqui dentro da organização. E, poxa, acho que eu devo algo para ele e eu acho que com a ideia dele de estar esse tempo, né, dando uma pausa aí, eu acho que, pô, muitas pessoas querem ver ele lutar, né, para ele mostrar o talento que ele tem e, pô, eu acho que eu vou conseguir fazer ele voltar antes.
No, I meant what I said over there. You know what I mean? I think I owe this to Adesanya, and he motivated me at first, and I think, you know, the whole thing about him staying all this time, you know, 2027, and I think it's a waste of talent. So I think many people try, but I think I'll be able to bring him back.
Potan, eu falei agora há pouco, fiz uma pergunta para o Dana White, se ele gostaria de ver você defender o cinturão no Brasil, na sua próxima luta, num estádio de futebol. Esse é o seu desejo também?
Cara,
he just asked Dana White if he will be open to make a title defense for Alex in Brazil, and we asked him if this was his wish too.
Bom, pô, eu quero lutar para mim não importa, né, aonde que eu vou lutar. Claro, pô, tô morando aqui, né, pô, do lado de casa aqui, agora eu vou voltar para casa, vou gastar 1h30, né. Então, pô, isso para mim é muito bom, porque viajar é um pouco complicado. Claro que a gente quer dar um show para os fãs ali, pô, no Brasil, né, querendo ver uma luta ali ao vivo, né, e, pô, isso seria muito bom, mas é aquilo, cara, fica, né, à disposição da organização, onde eles acharem que tem que me colocar, eu vou lutar.
Well, it really don't matter to me, even though it's much more convenient to fight here because it's about an hour and a half from my house. So you know what I mean. It's much easier than have to move the whole team somewhere, but that's up to the organization.
É bem provável que o Jamahal Hill seja o seu próximo adversário. O fato dele ter vencido o Glover te dá um combustível a mais para vencer essa luta?
It's most likely that Jamal Hill is going to be your next opponent. The fact that he already defeated Glover is something that fuel you a little more for this fight.
Muitas pessoas, né, os repórteres me perguntaram, né, agora que eu ia, pô, para vingar o Glover e tal, contra o Giri, e eu deixei bem claro que eu não levo assim emoção para dentro do octógono, porque para mim não fugir ali do que eu quero fazer, né, do todo planejado, todo treinamento, né, não ser jogado fora, né, claro, pô, eu gosto muito do Glover, né, pô, mas luta é luta, né, eu poderia ter perdido ali, mas, pô, eu saí com a vitória.
Like I spoke to other reporters asked too, I don't know if he'll be able to be ready on time or not. And has, you know, when it comes down to revenge, the same as on this fight, you know what I mean? Everything can happen over there, I came with the loss, but nothing personal.
E a minha última agora. Você foi o lutador a conquistar 2 cinturões com menos lutas no UFC. Você agora tem assim, várias defesas que deve fazer e tal, se continuar vencendo nessa categoria. Você pensa em algum dia, por acaso, lutar nos pesos pesados para tentar ser o único da história do UFC com 3 cinturões?
You're the first fighter to win on 2 different weight classes in such a small amount of fights. Let's say everything doing fine, you defend the belt a few times. Fighting a heavyweight is something that you have in mind.
Bom, desde quando eu estava no médio, sempre essa pergunta se eu ia subir pro meio pesado, e eu falava que eu não tinha planos, mas quando meu corpo me avisasse que eu tinha que subir, eu ia fazer isso, e foi o que eu fiz. Pô, tô com 36 anos de idade, né, eu não sei, né, daqui 2, 3 anos como é que vai ser, como meu corpo vai estar, né, se meu corpo falar que eu tenho que subir, eu vou subir, eu tenho que lutar, mas eu não vejo isso agora, entendeu? Tá longe disso.
Since I was fighting at middleweight, people already been asking me if I will fight at heavyweight, and I keep saying the same thing, that I'll have to listen to my body. I'm 36 years old now. I don't know how far can I still fight. So right now, my focus is just this.
Alex, I wanted to ask you, when you made the decision to go to MMA from kickboxing, what factored into that? And did you have to humble yourself? You know, you're kind of starting over again in a new sport.
Quando você começou a sua transição para o MMA, apesar de ser um cara muito experiente já no kickboxing, você teve que ficar humilde e começar bem quase do zero para começar no MMA?
Bom, no MMA eu comecei em 2015, né? Mas não estava focado ali porque eu tinha planos no kickboxing, mas eu já tinha começado a fazer algo, né? E quando eu cheguei na academia do Glover, eu adiantei muito, né? Esses treinos, me dediquei bastante e, migrei, né? Definitivamente para o MMA, então isso me deu mais condições para me estar treinando e evoluindo cada dia.
Well, I've been training MMA since 2015, but due to my kickboxing career, I had to focus more on that, put my whole focus on kickboxing. After I started helping Glover for his camps and start training at Glover's gym, I made a shift and, merged into MMA.
When you decided to switch over, did you believe that you could be this successful this quickly? I know you had confidence in yourself, but in terms of believing that you could be a champion as fast as you became, and almost a legend, you have beaten 4 UFC champions already in your career. Did you think it could come this fast when you first tried MMA?
Quando você começou MMA, você imaginaria que um dia chegaria aqui como campeão duplo, né, campeão de 2 categorias e todo esse sucesso que você já teve?
Não imaginava, né? Falei também, quando eu comecei a treinar, né, conheci a arte marcial, treinando ali já quase 5 anos ali treinando, e eu não sabia nem se eu ia conseguir viver do esporte, viver da luta, né? E claro, mas tinha pessoas que acreditavam e me incentivou e hoje eu tô aqui, né? Agora, né? Campeão aí de 2 categorias, né? E é isso.
Man, I not even on that. Let's move back because on the beginning, I actually don't even know if I could support myself only as a fighter, if I could make a living out of that. But thanks to a lot of good people around me, kept me motivated, kept me boosting me. I'm here to champion two different weight classes.
Do you feel, my last question for you, Alex, do you feel like, Anderson Silva set a standard for fighters in Brazil with all the title defenses he made, but do you feel like the path you're on, you have a chance to be the greatest fighter ever from Brazil, given you've already won 2 titles and who knows what else you might be able to do in this sport?
Bom, o Anderson Silva meio que colocou padrão, né, de melhor lutador da história do Brasil com todas as defesas de título que ele teve e tudo mais. Né, você acha que você consegue, com tudo que você está fazendo e conquistando, sendo campeão em 2 categorias diferentes, ser o melhor lutador que já veio do Brasil?
Bom, eu não estou nem focado nisso, né? Eu quero lutar. Eu vou estar continuando fazendo o meu trabalho, né? Foi um trabalho bem feito. E eu não consigo decidir esse tipo de coisa, mas eu vou estar fazendo o meu trabalho e as pessoas que são responsáveis a isso vão decidir e vão ver qual que é a colocação.
Well, I'm not really focusing on that. I'm focusing on just keep doing my job and fighting. You know what I mean? So it's not up to me. It's up to the people who make those records, who make that stuff to decide.
Alex in the front right here. A year ago, you said that the beating Israel Adesanya and claiming the middleweight title meant a little bit more than your Glory Championship. So I'm curious, where does this title win rank amongst all your other ones?
Um ano atrás, quando você foi campeão em cima do Adesanya, você falou que significava bem mais do que os títulos do Glória que você tinha. E agora esse que você ganhou, onde que você coloca ele nas suas conquistas?
Bom, eu sempre falei, né? Sempre a minha próxima luta é a mais importante. Essa aqui, né? Foi a mais importante. Né? Falei isso 2 dias atrás. Agora, quando eu parar de lutar, quando eu me aposentar, aí eu vou parar, né? Vou focar nisso e vou falar assim, pô, qual foi a última luta? Qual foi a luta mais difícil ou a mais importante? Então, eu vou parar para pensar. Mas a minha luta mais importante vai ser a próxima.
Well, right now my biggest achievement is always my next fight. So the most important fights for me is always the next one. Once I retire, I'm going to look around. I'm going to take a real look at my career. I'm going to say, okay, this was the most important to me.
Will you get another UFC title tattooed on your arm?
Você vai fazer outro cinturão tatuado no seu braço?
Não, outro cinturão não, porque, pô, tem que... Cinturão é o seguinte, tatuagem é o seguinte, tem que ter um tempo pra fazer. E agora eu quero treinar. Mas o que eu posso fazer é, para facilitar isso, eu fazer só colocar assim 2 vezes, né? E escrever, mas outro cinturão não, dá muito trabalho. Esse aqui ainda nem terminei, falta mais uma sessão. Eu vou terminar essa sessão para ficar bonito, mas outro cinturão não.
Well, not another belt because, it takes a while and I'm training, so there's a lot of sessions and stuff, but to speed up the process, I might put ×2 on each side, but I don't even finish this belt that I have on my arm, but maybe I put ×2 just to speed up and go with it.
Eu posso colocar 2 pedrinhas, né? Não é uma defesa, mas aí é 2 cinturões, as pessoas vão saber.
Or he put 2 little stones, 2 little jewels. Not too defensive, but people are gonna know.
That's a good one. And I'm curious if you saw, Israel actually tweeted about right after your interview, he posted a photo of you knocked out with a wig from the movie Frozen, and he said, "Let it go." So I'm curious if you see this and do you have a response to him?
Depois que você fez sua entrevista no octógono, o Israel postou uma foto de você nocauteado com a peruca da mina do Frozen congelada e escreveu para você deixar para trás. O que você tem para falar sobre isso? Ela ergou, tipo, tá no passado. Mano, larga isso aí, entendeu?
Não, mas eu fui bem respeitoso ali, entendeu? Eu falei da situação, né? Que, pô, ele foi um cara que me motivou, né? Me motivou. E é isso que eu falo, cara. É um talento, todo mundo sabe. Um cara que, pô, fez história também. Pô, fez muitas defesas. Então, acho que as pessoas querem ver ele lutando, que ele continue lutando. Pô, às vezes ele tá um pouco desmotivado, não sei o porquê, mas eu acho que eu sou uma boa motivação para ele estar dando esse show para essa galera, como ele sempre fez.
Well, regardless of what he say, I was respectful, and I mean what I say. You know what I mean? I give him a chance. I think he doesn't seem motivated, and I think there's a fight that everybody would like to see. So try to boost him to come back.
So, quick question for you. Actually, first of all, congratulations. You are easily the best MMA fighter here in the Garden. 3 years running, 3 wins in a row. They're going to hang a jersey of yours from the rafters next to Clyde Frazier if you keep this up. But my actual question is more of a technique one. Your best success came with the kicks, low kicks, mid kicks, but you ended up winning with basically a shovel hook. Were you at all surprised with the kicks being a success or the knockout coming off of the hook?
Bom, primeiro que com tudo isso que você está fazendo aqui no Madison Square Garden, você é com certeza o melhor lutador de MMA que já esteve aqui. E daqui a pouco eles vão ter que colocar a sua camisa aqui já. E ele é um cara que preza muito a técnica, ele viu que o caminho da vitória foram os chutes, mas o que impressionou mais foi aquele cruzado curto que você jogou. Te impressionou aquele cruzado?
Bom, para quem acompanha, né, minhas lutas, né, já meu trabalho, sempre assim, né, eu sempre nocauteio, assim, golpes forte, cruzado. Geralmente é na curta, né, e, pô, eu tava ganhando a distância ali, machucando, jogando os golpes, chute na perna, saindo da distância dele, e aí comecei a machucar ele bem, e, pô, ele tinha duas opções, ou sair, correr, ou entrar, né, mais forte, foi o que ele fez, né. Ele fez essa entrada aí com meio que um modo de sobreviver, né? E aí, pô, onde entrou os cruzados curtos.
Well, everybody that know how I fight, I go, hurting my opponents little by little. And with this one was no different. So I put him on a point that he either had to start moving back or he had to start to moving forward. And that's what he did. Kind of rushed a little bit, almost more, on survivor mode. So that's when he saw that he could catch him with the left hook.
Lex, over here in the front. So you've obviously accomplished a lot in this building. You won your debut in the UFC here. Next year you win your first title. Next year, this night, you win your second title. What does this arena mean to you in your career? Do you have affection for it, or is it just another place?
Pô, tudo que você fez aqui no Madison Square Garden, ganhou tudo aqui. O que essa arena significa para você? Tem algo especial ou é só mais um lugar?
Minha casa agora. Tem que ver quem que eu pego essa chave.
Well, it's my house here now. Just gotta see who do I get the key.
And when will we be back at your house? Do you hope it'll be next year? I know you don't have control over that, but is that something you'd like to do next November? Come back here again?
Bom, já que aqui no próximo novembro você gostaria de lutar aqui de novo?
Bom, agora já me perguntaram, né? Pô, eu tava no Brasil, tal. Pô, aqui é 1h30 dirigindo, né? Até minha casa, que é em Denver, Connecticut. Então, pô, aqui seria o melhor lugar para mim, né? Para mim lutar. Mas, claro, pô, lutar pro povo brasileiro, né? Onde tem uma popularidade assim de fãs, isso é fantástico, cara. Poder fazer isso, levar isso para essa galera. Mas, pô, aqui acho que é o melhor lugar para mim. Tô do lado de casa.
Well, like people just ask about me fighting in Brazil, right? I would love to fight over there, bring, all this love to the fans, but realistically, this is only an hour and a half drive for me. You know what I mean? So if I could fight here, always good.
Hey, Alex, in the back. I just wanted to ask, as somebody who also calls Danbury, Connecticut home, I just wanted to ask what it's been like to have the support of that community.
Sendo ele também uma pessoa que chama Denver de casa, o que significa para você estar representando aquela comunidade?
Representa muito, né? Significa muito, né? Porque é onde eu cheguei ali, né? Onde eu conheci o Glover e, pô, tem muitos brasileiros ali. E, pô, sempre as pessoas me trataram bem, né? Os treinos para mim ali era fundamental, né? Pô, quando eu cheguei ali, primeiro treino, e o Glover começou a me corrigir ali, né? E assim, treinando com outras pessoas, assim, amador, né? Pessoas lutando amador, com peso menor do que o meu, e, pô, me dando um trabalho assim, e às vezes me dando uma pressão. E eu falava assim, pô, esse lugar que eu tenho que ficar, né? É onde que eu vou ter um futuro, né? Se eu quero chegar aonde eu pensava naquele momento, né? Que era entrar no UFC, né? E me tornar campeão. Então, pô, ali tem ótimas lembranças, né? E é onde eu, pô, tive todo o suporte, né? Para conquistar tudo isso.
Well, since day one when I came to Danbury, Glover was very receptive to me. Not only him, but everybody around there was very warm with me, and start training over there, and find myself training sometimes, you know what I mean? Glover's a different guy. He put me to train sometimes with amateur guys, and I see how hard it is with his amateurs over there. So I've realized that that's a place that can bring something different for me. It's a place that I should have stayed there. So I would like to be there.
Question from me. Congratulations on winning another championship. Compared to last year, where the volume was turned way, way up, and obviously there was a lot of trash talking between you and Israel. Was it more of a relaxing week, knowing that you were fighting someone that respected you, you respected him? Was it more relaxing, or what was the difference?
Pô, comparado com a semana de luta com a Desan, que tem aquela guerra psicológica, um falando, né, provocando o outro e tudo aí, é melhor para você ter uma semana de luta como essa, em que seu adversário te respeita e você respeita ele?
Não, com certeza. Eu estava até conversando ontem, pô, com a minha equipe, né, e falando ali na coletiva de imprensa, né, pô, na press-conferência, né, pô, como que tava assim a galera ali, todo mundo calado ali, sem ofender um outro, né, mas a gente conseguiu, né, até na encarada ali, mostrar que seria um show, que seria um mega evento, né, a gente não precisou ficar um ofendendo o outro, falando mal do outro, né, e as pessoas sentiram isso e, pô, você viu aí como que tava, né, a arena lotada.
No, since yesterday I was talking to my team, you know what I mean, how on the press conference, everybody was more composed, more quiet, but we say that like that's not going to matter because I know that this fight's going to sell good and saw today, you know what I mean, they're the full arena in great fight.
And one more question from me. Obviously, you're holding the same belt that Glover Teixeira held, and I and a lot of people can consider you one of the greatest Brazilian fighters of all time and put you in the same vein as an Anderson Silva, Nogueira brothers, all the greatest. But are you ready to consider yourself and put yourself on that esteemed list?
Pô, muito legal você ver com o cinturão que já foi do Glover e ele te coloca ali, né, como um maior lutador que já veio do Brasil, junto com o Anderson Silva e com o Minotauro, e você também se coloca nesse patamar?
Bom, como eu falei, estou fazendo meu trabalho. Às vezes a gente fala algo, mas pessoas criticam, né? Então, o que eu vou fazer é trabalhar, ter ótimos resultados, e aí as pessoas que são responsáveis de colocar em algum lugar ali, eles vão fazer isso e vamos ver onde que eu vou merecer estar.
Well, like I said before, I just do my job. I just keep training. Whoever's in charge to make these records, they're going to know where to put me in and where I'm going to belong.
Congratulations, champ.
There he is, your new UFC light heavyweight champion, Alex Pereira. What's that? Our third UFC champion this year for this particular weight class. Easy.
Can we fit one more in?
Probably not, but I mean, we still do have December. Anything could happen. Yeah. So, knock on wood that it doesn't. I hope Pereira gets to be it. That may be done. We were waiting for confirmation from Jose Youngs, unless you got it, and I don't. But
let me double check before we.
I reached out and asked. He said he'd confirm. But I suspect they usually save the winner of the main event for last. It would just be a little weird if Yuri, though not entirely unprecedented. So I'm going to guess that that's it, but we'll hang around here just in case we got some more coming.
Yeah, since we got a little bit of Yuri in the cage. Clearly
yeah, we did get a little bit of Yuri.
Not concussed enough that the UFC thought it would be fine to interview him.
Yeah, so it'd be fine. And Sergey Pavlovich, surely he's okay now. He was knocked out hours ago. Who cares? It's fine. That's how the brain works. So, we'll see. Jose appears to be sending something, so we should have confirmation. But I'm going to preemptively suggest that this is probably it for us, Casey. I confirm. We are wrapped here. So, thank you for tuning in to the UFC 295 post-fight press conference. Guess what? The fun is not over yet, ladies and gentlemen. Just started. We've got a post show. It's coming up in like 5 minutes after this one closes down. It's on the same YouTube channel. You just click out of this, go to the post show. It's going to be great. It's going to be me. Casey's going to be there. Mike Heck's going to be hosting it. I don't know who else is joining. I would guess Shaheen, but could be anything. We're going to talk about everything that just happened. Thank you for joining us, guys. 2 new champs. Love y'all.